All right, my fellow Porsche driveway mechanics. Today we're tackling the control arm or the torque arm. Right? I searched all over the internet and replaced these. Instead of going factory Porsche, I did the YouTube or the eBay thing and did Meyle's. There's the part number if you can find it somewhere else. They're all the same front to rear, or supposedly they're all the same. I have done the two fronts already. I just kind of set them in the car for you guys to take a look. So we got it jacked up, we'll get the wheels off. Jack stands in the proper location. Right about there. Careful when you set the car down. While I was here, you might as well look at the pads. This car's gonna need them pretty soon. So we'll be doing pads later. All right, so my big question was, let's go over the tools. So you're gonna need a 1/2 inch torque wrench. You're gonna need either a half ratchet or a breaker, 16, a 15, 21 ratchet, or sorry, 16, 15, 21 wrenches. You're gonna need your key for your lugs, a socket for your lugs, which is, I think, 13/16. That's 3/4. You're gonna need an 18 millimeter, a 15 millimeter, 16 millimeter, a little tiny screwdriver, and you might need an extension. So, all right, we get under the car. Let me show you what we're doing here. There's a way to kind of flat rate this. So let me see if I can. Everything's already loose. Like I said, I already put these in. I just decided to kind of do a video because I had a bunch of questions about this. So let me bang it off real quick. 18's in the center. These are torqued to just about 130 foot-pounds. That's not 130, like I said. This has already been apart, so just kind of loosening it up. So when I start taking these apart, I loosen up this 18 and this 18 first, right? And like I said, you'd normally have to back this one up. There's a nut on the back side right here in the control, or in the lower A-arm. Actually, okay, look. In the American world, this is a torque arm or a control arm, and this is a control arm or lower control arm. I don't know when we change numbers or names around and everything, where everything is or what it's called, but here's an idea. All right, 16 millimeter in the front right here. This torques to about 90 foot-pounds. All right. So get this off. This is a way to sneak this thing out without having to disassemble the whole strut and all that. You can do this job literally, once you know what you're doing, 25, 30 minutes both sides. So this is a 15. This is the sway bar bracket. You can see it already starting to drop out. Now you're going to need your 15. Actually, since it was already apart, I didn't tighten. Knowing I was going to do the video, I didn't tighten the inside. Right inside here, behind this sway bar bracket hold down, there's one more right in there, and you just got to put a 1/2 turn on it. Just break it loose, get it a 1/2 turn. This will move out of the way. You can pull your control arm forward, so you pull it forward, you pull it outboard, and then you just kind of drop it out. That's it. All right, now let me show you the difference between the aftermarket and the factory arm. So here's our factory Porsche arm. You can tell it's worn out because I can move it like that. The other side, this was actually the noisy side right here. I mean, look how easy that thing moves. So what happens is you're going over a speed bump or low speed, you'll hear a little clunk, 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 clunk. It sounds like the sway bar's loose. It drove me crazy for a year before I figured out what was wrong with this car. All right, anyways, so if we look in cross section, you'll notice the aftermarket is wider right here, right? Since it's wider, when you go to put on the brake air scoop, you won't be able to clip it down. All right, not only will you not be able to clip it down, you're gonna have to put a little notch in there like I did right there. Wait, let me see if I can show you right there. This notch is not normally there, so I made a little slice right there and a little slice right there with with a pair of cutters, right? These are sheet metal cutters, but you can use side cutters, a bunch of stuff you could use. Other than that, I measured them, same length, everything, they go right in. The difference is, you know, price. This is about 100 bucks. On eBay, I bought 4 of them. This from Porsche, if you did front and rears, and they're probably all worn out at the same time, they go around, I'm gonna say this noise started around 50,000 miles, but if you got a car with more than that, they're definitely shot. These are 250 from Porsche. So 250, I'm not sure if maybe this is the GT3 size right here, and maybe you could then just use a GT3 scoop. If that does turn out being the case, I'll buy a GT3 set of scoops and try them on the car and see how well that goes. So let's show you how you put them in, where you torque them. Get this thing set back up for you guys. So once you get it fitted to put it in, use a wrench right there. So this is true garage. When you're not at the dealership, it's a different world. All right, to sneak it in, oh, one other thing, to remove this clip right here, you take that small screwdriver I showed you, you squeeze it together here, you put it right in here, and you just flick it. And then to put it together, you squeeze. Oh goodness, not gonna be, there we go. Okay. So we start on the outboard. Actually, it might be easier to start on the inboard. And then just slide to the outboard. Now, you guys were pretty fortunate here. So I always start by putting the outboard in first. Oh, one other thing real quick. Sorry guys. I did, when I was looking for the noise, I did install RSS solid bushings in the lower control arms. Lower control arm right there. A little more involved job. I'll show you how I did the rears. I'm going to do the rears next. I only did the fronts. Because, as I said, I was searching for the noise. And then it turned out, you know, like I said, to be a little combination on this car. This was a little worn, and this was definitely worn. So, anyways, this is a pretty good improvement. It definitely feels sharper, since that's a liquid-filled joint down there. So it's closer to a GT3, something a lot more precise. What you'll notice is on turn-in, the car initially, it doesn't understeer. Well, yeah, I guess it does. It's technically not understeering. You're putting steering input into the car. So, okay, I put this screw in, right? So everything should always be finger tight on a Porsche. It's always easy to screw everything together. This is not some junk box car. I'll get back to those mounts in a minute. So you notice I just put everything in with my fingers. There's no reason with a car that's built correctly to have to use impacts and all kinds of stuff to put things together. You know, if you got a lot of road corrosion or something, maybe to take something apart. I still don't like using impacts on better built cars. So everything finger tight here. Okay. Now sometimes with some types of, depending on what you're putting together, you're going to want to load the car with the suspension. For this joint, we don't need to do that. Okay, actually, we don't have to do that anywhere on this car. But keep that in mind when you're doing other types of cars, all right? So we've got all these tight. Okay. All right. So as I was saying, you're going to turn, when you turn in, and this isn't solid, right? It's got some movement. You turn the wheel, and the wheels don't really turn yet. I mean, we're talking a micro fractions of a second, but if you can feel it. I mean, if you're an in-tune driver, you will feel it. All right, so we're going to go to snug on all this. Snug is just, give you an idea of what snug is in the mechanic world, right? that's snug, right? Maybe if you don't have strong hands, a little bit like that, just removing the free play. All right, we come up here and have to take back my wrench for a second. Hopefully you guys can still see what I'm doing. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. I'll do it real quick. So I'm backing up the 18 millimeter. Like I said, working in the driveway, guys. Okay, super light, right? Just snug. 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 Let me grab a 15. Okay, we sneak in here on the back side. I don't know if you guys can see me sneaking in there. Yeah, you can. Almost, guys. All right, so this one, it's about 50 foot-pounds, right? So you kind of got to get a feel. Either that or you're going to have to drop the whole tray, right? I don't want you, you stronger guys just tearing bolts out of an aluminum cross member, because there's an aluminum cross member that runs up through here on 996s and 997s. And you can, if you want to, you can tear the bolts out. So you kind of get a feel for what 50 foot-pounds feels like. All right, so we're going to sneak up on all three of these. We're just going to go a little tighter and a little tighter here. Now this thing is like 120, so we can really get up there on that one. So what we're going to do is this one, these two, then these two, right? But it's pretty much set right now. Like I said, if it was a different type of car where it had rubber bushings and you needed to set the suspension at ride height, that'd be a different scenario. You don't have to do that with this car. All right, so I'm going to do 100 on this front one, okay? So I'm going to start there. And I mean, you guys can check your service manuals, just make sure. What I didn't have a service manual for it. So I went in there and so we're going to set this. I went in and I used a torque wrench to loosen it, and I just took note of what it was loosened to, right? How tight it was from the factory. So I went 105 there. It's close enough. I'm going to do the 15 millimeter. Now here's kind of a trick here. You can take the wrench, you can set your other wrench next to it, right? They're both 15 millimeters. I can get a feel of what 50 foot-pounds feels like as long as I keep my hand in the same spot. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm pulling. Oh my God, that was 50. See how easy that is to come up there? So now that feels okay, about like that, right? So I'm going to take that same feeling that I just had in my forearm and my wrist and apply it to this. Now this is obviously, I can usually, I've been a mechanic for 50 years, so I can get it pretty damn close. All right, 18 in the middle, right? That goes just about 120. So we're gonna reset there. Right about there. That's 125. So I'm just gonna look at it one more time. Oh my God. Let me double check that. They came up really quick, which is a good sign for fasteners when they come up quick. And right there, a little more. Yeah, all right, right on. So, last one. So we come underneath, we reset our torque wrench. Depends on what kind of torque wrench you have too, right? Oh, it's never good for your torque wrench either. Maybe my wrench that I'm backing it up with won't spin. I can see it right there, which would be kind of nice. Otherwise, it'd be nice to have somebody out here. I'm already at 100. 105. 120. 125. All right, that's in. They're done. We'll put the wheel on, and then, like I said, no more clunks, no more rattles. Wow, sorry about the camera there. So you can see where I was backing it up. It didn't move, so. And that's it, guys. So let me give you a couple quick looks. That's the sway bar bracket. The 15 millimeter was this one. So, right, that 15 millimeter right there, right? The one behind it that you couldn't see before is, let's get a wrench in here. Let's see if you guys can follow my fingers. That's the one we're looking at from underneath, right? Behind it, right in this panel, right here, you can actually see the bolt hole. The bolt hole is, sorry, geez guys, this is a pain. Is this bolt hole right here, right? So there's the front one, there's the rear one.